What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Jason, and today we got a lot of news to talk about. But first off, I want to welcome everybody to the show. This is the NY Baseball Podcast until I find a different name to call it. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a great Friday. I know I am. I've been looking forward to a weekend off of work. So on the right here, I have the rundown, the topics we're about to discuss. So let's get into it. The Rays pay the Yankees. So the Rays will be playing at George Steinbrenner Field, located in Tampa Bay, I believe. And the Rays are going to pay the Yankees $15 million to use the field for the 2025 season. Obviously, we all know their roof was damaged due to Hurricane Milton, I believe his name. So what does this mean, right? I know a lot of people are saying that this money could be used for free agency signing for Juan Soto. But in reality, you got to think about it. I mean, $15 million it's a lot of money to me and you. But in terms of maintaining a field, I mean, that's probably what it's for. What I'm thinking is that Hal probably just gave him a great discount and that money is going to be used to maintain the field just for the upkeep and servicing of the field. So if you was hoping that that could go towards Juan Soto's contract, I hate to say it, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. And even if it was, man, 15 million is just a drop in the bucket for what Juan Soto's about to get. So, I mean, I'm not sure what that means for the single A club that plays there, but from what I'm hearing, they're going to be playing in one of the backfields that's located there. I've never been there personally, but if you've been there, I believe they have several backfields around the stadium where the single A club could play. But let's move on. So Juan Soto met with the Red Sox, I believe, last night, and the reports are that they had a good 3-hour meeting, very productive with agent Scott Boras. But no offers were made. No money was discussed, which is kind of weird. Like, I mean, what are you going to talk about for 3 hours if you're not talking about money? So, I mean, according to this article here on MLB.com, the meeting lasted for 3 hours. It was productive. No money nor terms were discussed between the parties. Soto was reportedly impressed by Boston's representation, which included a video noting the franchise's history of star players from the Dominican Republic. If you tune into the overnight podcast that I do with Chris the Flash, we talked about that 2 nights ago, how the Red Sox, they have a rich Dominican history. I mean, in the early 2000s, man, they had all the Dominican stars playing over there, from Pedro Martinez, Manny Ramirez, who else? Big Papi, of course. So, I mean, I guess that might have intrigued them a little bit, but honestly, I mean, they're gonna have to come harder than that. Like, if they're not talking numbers, I don't even know why they went over there, because he could have watched it on YouTube. I mean, quite frankly, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Yankees fan. I'm just being serious. Like, if you're going over there, you better go over there with a check and better go prepared. You better go prepared, because just the Dominican history of the team is not going to persuade him to sign with your club. That's just my opinion. But let me know in the chat what you guys think. Moving on to next topic is Juan Soto's meeting with the Yankees. So Juan Soto said to me with the Yankees on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, Hal Steinbrenner is going to meet with him along with Boone, and I'm sure Cashman will be there, and maybe some other personnel. But look, supposedly it's the last meeting he's going to have that we know of, and that's a good thing for the Yankees. It's a good thing for the Yankees because you want to be there last, so that way you can leave an impression, a lasting impression on him. And also so you can, I'm sure there's leaks. I'm sure they got inside info on what people are offering him and showing him. So going last is not a bad thing, in my opinion. Going last is not a bad thing. I mean, they can learn from what the other teams did. I'm sure they did stuff that Juan Soto probably didn't care for. So Yankees could get some of that feedback and make their presentation even better. Obviously, he played with us last year, so he knows the team. He knows how. He knows Boone. He knows Cashman. But with that being said, they still have to they got to make a good presentation because I'm sure the Mets are coming prepared. I believe the Mets are meeting with them today, which is interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what leaks from that meeting. Obviously, he's good friends with Francisco Lindor and other Dominican and Puerto Rican players that's on that team. So we'll see. And Steve Cohen, we all know he has the money to outbid anyone. Will he? That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Steve Cohen will outbid Hal Steinbrenner? My personal opinion is yes, to a certain extent. I mean, even Steve Cohen. I don't care how much money you got. There's a limit on what you'll spend for any given player, for that matter. And Juan Soto is no exception to that. But let's move on to the most interesting topic of the day, in my opinion, which is DJ LeMahieu. So I read an interesting article today. Okay, I'm going to try to pull it up here. Maybe we'll read it together. So could the Yankees trade DJ LeMahieu? LeMahieu is 36, and the Yankees owe him $15 million for the next 2 seasons. That's a total $30 million. Obviously, he's not as productive as he once was. We're we're definitely overpaying for him right now. And is there even a role for him on the team? Seriously, is there a role for him on the team? In my opinion, there isn't. And I think they got to try to move on from him any way possible. And that might mean eating some of the payroll. It might mean eating some of that $15 million that we owe him for each season, for the next 2 seasons. So I read a article here it's SI.com, and let's go ahead and listen to that article real quick. I'm going to see if AI can read it for us.
Could the A's add payroll in this deal with the New York Yankees? Jason Burke 7 hours ago. August 4th, 2024, Bronx, New York, USA. New York Yankees third baseman DJ LeMahieu, 26, celebrates after hitting a game-winning RBI cinch during the 10th inning. The Athletics are looking to improve, and they're looking to increase payroll. The goal next season is to finish at 81.
All right, so the thesis of this article is pretty much saying that the A's could possibly make a trade with the Yankees for DJ LeMahieu, being that they're trying to up their payroll. Obviously, they got to still put a semi-decent product on the field, even though they're going to play in Sacramento this year. Their payroll last year, I believe, was $67 million. They reduced that all the way down to about $37 million this year, right now, currently, which leaves them a lot of cap to play with. We all know that they're cheap, but they still have to spend some kind of money. And I think DJ LeMahieu is a good option for them, especially if the Yankees could eat some of that money. Yes, we're going to have to eat some of it, but I mean, if he's not going to play anyway, if he's going to come off the bench, I mean, we're pretty much eating that money anyway. So if we could, get half of that off our backs, that'd be nice. But let's continue on and see. And my apologies for the AI reading the article.
To 81, and the building process to make that happen begins now. With the A's move to Sacramento for the next 3 or 4 seasons, the front office is unsure how free agents will feel about signing on with the club, which would leave the trade route the most efficient way to improve for 2025 and beyond. They could even lend the New York Yankees a hand. The one problem is that the A's are attempting to build up their own roster, so trading away top prospects or integral pieces of the 26-man roster isn't going to help the team improve. That is why many believe that in order to both set themselves up for the future, improve now, and also increase payroll, the A's may be looking to take on some bad contracts with prospects attached.
All right, well, I'm not sure if that's actually playing right now, but yeah, it is. Well, I mean, look, to break down the article, and these are A's fans that published this, so they're pretty much saying that the A's could use him. They could use a veteran third base / first base / second base. And even though he's owed $15 million, if the Yankees could eat some of that money, it'll be a good pickup for the A's to bring a veteran around the young guys they have there, and they need to spend a little bit of money. They obviously don't want to trade away prospects because they're gonna need them for when they move to Vegas. So it'd be interesting to see how that works out. Obviously, I'd love to get Mason Miller from them, but it's gonna take a hell of a lot more than DJ LeMahieu or even half of DJ's contract to get that guy. Excuse me. So with that being said, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Are there any other possible ways that the Yankees can get out of this DJ LeMahieu contract thing? Because in my opinion, it's hindering the Yankees a lot. Obviously, when they signed him, I was all for it at the time, but he's become a different player. He's a totally different player these days. Totally different player. And I think the Yankees need to find a way to move on from DJ LeMahieu. They need to find a way to move on from him. I mean, at this point, he's just taking up a roster spot for one of the younger guys, and his trade value is probably none unless the Yankees eat a lot of that contract. So I'm all for it. I'm all for the Yankees possibly eating half of that contract and I hate to say it like this, but getting rid of him. He wasn't even on the roster for the playoffs. So I mean, look, he's a non-factor for the team right now. He's a non-factor. He's just taking up salary cap. And if we want to sign Soto and make other moves that are necessary for this team, we got to get creative. They got to look into ways to free up some salaries, free up some money, whether that's non-tendering Grisham, Trevino, then that's what they're going to have to do. And yeah, every player I just named, look, they're good players. Even DJ LeMahieu, I'm sure he has some value that he could bring to a team, especially like the A's. He's a veteran. You can show him how to play the game right. But I think his time as a Yankee has that ship has sailed, to be honest. To me, that ship has sailed a long time ago. And it's time to figure out a way to get rid of him. All right, so let's get into some of these comments. Let me put this away real quick. What's good, the boy? The boy Wonder 212. I'm assuming you're from Manhattan, right? With 212? Somewhere in Manhattan. Let me know. I appreciate it, my guy. Appreciate the support. I'm from the Lower East Side, by the way, so I know I'm a 212 guy too. To trade DJ, Yankees will have to eat some money and add a prospect. I mean, at that point though, if we eating money, I mean, it depends on what they're giving us back. So like if we was to make that trade with the A's that I was just talking about, and to take, I don't think the A's want to part ways with any prospects, but if they were to add a prospect, then possibly. But what I'm thinking is just just a straight up trade, man. We'll eat most of his contract and you take him off our hands. So you mean non-tender Grisham and Trevino? Yeah, man. Yeah. And look, I love Trevino too, man. Man, that he's a team player. He's been with us for a couple of years now, and look, he's been a good catcher for us. I can't front. He's been a good catcher. He's not a hater too. He knew Austin Wells was his replacement, but he still, groomed him and taught him everything he knows. But right now, we're trying to save money, and it sounds crazy because we're the New York Yankees, but we're trying to free up some money because we got to get better, and we gotta move on from Trevino too. They got to non-tender him, save some of that money, and then even we could put Ben Rice back there to catch. Get a real first baseman and throw Ben Rice as the backup catcher or something, man. We got to do something. All day, manito. That's what's up, brother. He said it twice. He said it 3 times. 3 times a charm, right? He said, I used to chill a lot in the LES. Yeah, man, I'm from the Lower East Side, from the LES. From Avenue D and 6th Street to be specific. Lillian Wall houses. If you know, you know, man. I'm from the hood, man. I'm from the projects, for real, for real. Baruch, yeah, I'm right across the street from Baruch. Baruch. I know a lot of people over there. I went to junior high school 22, which is right across the street from Baruch. Houston Street, FDR Drive. I know all of that, man. I used to be up and down them project buildings as a young kid. Good times, man. Good times. I'll miss it. Then I joined the army and I never looked back, if I'm being honest. But what you think, man? What you think? What you think about Soto meeting with the Red Sox? Because this is interesting. They had a 3-hour-long meeting. This is what the reports say. They had a 3-hour meeting, but no money was discussed. I mean, so what y'all talking about for 3 hours? They said they showed them a huge video, showcasing all the Dominican players that played with the Red Sox and the history they had with Dominican Republic. And my whole thing is like, bro, he could have looked that up on YouTube, man. Why are you wasting this man's time? That's 3 hours. If you ain't talking money, man, you need to go. The boy Wonder says, I went to LaSalle. Yeah, I know a lot of people that went to LaSalle, man. I went to Sewell Park High School, and I dropped out in the 9th grade. Ended up getting my GED later, joined the Army. Like I said, I joined the Army, hit the ground running, found myself in Iraq, not even a year later. And, best decision I ever made. From there, it was just moving forward, moving forward. I never looked back. I still go back every now and then, obviously, to visit the family, my mom Dukes, but yeah, man, I that's not me, man. I've changed a lot since I was younger. But boy, I appreciate the comments too. He said if Soto wants to be a Yankee, he will be. Yeah, man. Yeah, if he wants to be a Yankee, he'll be a Yankee. That's true, man. Unless somebody comes with some crazy money that he can't refuse. And I don't think that's going to happen, though. To be honest, I know everybody's talking about 600 mil, 700 mil. It might not even get that high. Unless you're talking 14 years, I don't see how he even gets to 600 mil. Nando 390 says, LaSalle was the school of champions. You from New York too, Nando? I thought you was from LA, man. You're always trolling the Yankees. The boy Wonder says, I'm in Florida. The whole New York is in Florida now. That's crazy. That's where everybody goes. They go down south to Florida. LaSalle was the school of champions. LaSalle was like that school, man, that all the pretty boys went to. That's how I remember it. LaSalle, Norman Thomas, and Mary Bertram. I was in Sewell Park, man. Sewell Park, that was like the step before Rikers Island. That's how it felt like, because that school was crazy, man. It was crazy. You ever seen those movies with the high schools that got the metal detectors and all crazy kind of stuff and people smoking weed in the stairs and all that? That's how Sewell Park was. Sewell Park. The boy Wonder says, salute to you for serving, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You'll be up there in January. That's what's up. I got to go back too. I want to visit my mom. She's getting older and just haven't seen her in a few years, so I want to go up there and see her. 550, how many years though? How many years you giving Soto for 550? I don't want to know. So let's think. All right, do the math. You went to LaSalle, man. You smart. Do the math. Yeah, I would 550, 10 years, that's what, 55 million? Nah, they gotta spread it out more, like 14 years. Yeah, bro, Sewell Park was crazy, man. Sewell Park was wild, dude. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a bad student. I'm not gonna say I wasn't bad. I was never like a tough guy or like gangster or anything like that. I don't know, I just didn't care. That's how I was when I was younger. Until I don't know, I was more intrigued by everything going on outside and trying to show off for girls and stuff like that, man. ended up messing up. I ended up getting my GED. I went to this GED program in 96th Street. I didn't even get my GED there. I got my GED later, and joined the army. When the height of that Iraq war, man, I guess they dropped the standards. They were like, "Look, GED, you good to go." And yeah, I joined the army. Now I have my associate's degree, and I'm about to get my bachelor's. I'm like 12 credits away, so I'm right there. So that goes to show you, man, it's never too late. If anybody's watching this and you feeling down or you feel like, bro, it's never too late, man. I'm 40 years old, and now I finally got it together. I should be getting my bachelor's degree in software development real soon. Hopefully, definitely by the summer I'll have it. Definitely. It's a little hard because I have kids now, so I gotta kind of schedule it so that it fits with work and my family. The boy Wonder says Elias is all Latin Kings. I guess, man. It depends. It kind of went through phases. Like growing up, when I was really younger, there was none of that stuff. It was more like crews. Like if you was Third Street, you was down with a certain crew. You know, Pitt Street. Every block had their own little crew. Then, so it was like I want to say like the mid '90s. There was a lot of that Latin King and Yenta stuff going on. Then it changed to like Bloods and Crips, and I don't know. I was never down with none of that stuff. I knew a lot of people, a lot of my friends fell into that, and for me, I was always just myself. To be honest, I knew all these people, but I never let myself get too deep with that. That was just me, and nothing against if you down with something, that's on you, man. It just wasn't me. Who playing second? Everybody talking about this kid Caleb Durbin, but to be honest, I don't want to knock the guy, right? Especially because like I was reading a lot of stats on him. The dude's only 5'6", and that's nothing against because look at Altuve. Altuve is like 5'4" probably, but he's 5'6", so his average exit velo is, I want to say, I think I read somewhere it was 83 miles per hour, which is not, so he doesn't hit the ball super hard. So you can't expect crazy power from him. I just feel like, look, I'm all for them giving him a chance, but I don't want to see. I want to see some. I'm not gonna say veterans, not older guys, but I want to see some proven guys. Like we just came off a World Series loss. Now's not the time to be giving dudes tryouts. You know, I mean, it all depends on what happens with Soto. If he does come to the Yankees, I mean, if the Yankees do promote Caleb Durbin, he's gonna have to be a second baseman. I think he's too small to play anywhere else except shortstop, and we have Volpe there already. So look, if let's say we sign Soto and they don't go out and get a first baseman, that's gonna put either Cabrera or Ben Rice or somebody. But I feel like we gotta get a good infield. All right. We gotta get a good infield, and we need some offensive production from our second baseman. I'm all for putting Jazz back at second. That's his best position. He came up as a second baseman. Let him play second base, and let's go out and get a first baseman and a third baseman. Caleb Durbin, if he comes up, yeah, I'm all for giving him a chance, but I see him more like being a utility player on the bench or something, or trade him. Nando says, much respect for serving, especially in those crazy times. You're a braver man than me. I mean, I wouldn't say that, man. I think when I joined the Army, man, I was just looking for a way out. And I just had my first child. And 6 days later, I was on a plane going to basic training. Probably not the first time I had been in a plane, but the first time since I was a young child that I had been on a plane. Excuse me. And it's not about being brave, man. When you're in the Army, that's it. If you're going, you're going. You pretty much don't have a choice. I mean, you could, play the head case stuff, and there's ways out of it, man, but I'm not that kind of person. If I told you I wasn't scared, I'd be lying. I was terrified. And then after a while, it kind of goes away. But you always have that constant paranoia while you're over there. It messes with your head a little bit, but I wouldn't say I'm brave or anything like that. I kind of had no choice. You was going with whether you wanted to or not. The boy Wonder says to all you Dodgers fans, New York is coming. See you in the World Series. I hope so. I really hope so, man. The Dodgers fans, they be talking crazy lately. What moves would I make? So first things first, we got to get Soto back. We got to get him back, but that can't be it. That cannot be it. If I could get Soto, make a trade for Nathaniel Lowe, or sign a Christian Walker or something like that, we got to get a first baseman, a bona fide first baseman. And then I will leave Jazz at second. I'm not moving him from there. I'm going to put him at second. And then you can make a move for a third base, Because Yandy Diaz is out there. There's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of everything kind of depends on Soto. If Soto doesn't sign with us, it's gonna throw everything into a frenzy, man. I don't want to be Cashman right now because if Soto doesn't sign, I'm sure they have a plan B, but plan B could change in a second if somebody signs with someone else. But I think I would do that. And if you can't get somebody on third that's worth it like that, I mean, you always got Oswaldo Cabrera or Peraza or somebody. But I'll do that. I'll go out there and I'll try to get some bullpen arms. I'll try to trade for some bullpen arms. It might be some rentals, but you got to trade them. I think if you can make a trade with the Padres for Luis Arias, I think he only got one more year left. If you could do that, then I'll put Jazz back at third. Or you could leave Jazz at second and Luis Arias, he plays first too. He's not the greatest first baseman, but his bat makes up for it. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do. If it was up to me, if I was Cashman, man, I'd be spending a lot of money right now. But I don't think they're gonna do that. So I say trade him. Spencer Jones, trade him. Honestly, even Jason Dominguez for the right person, I'll trade him too. What do you add and what do you take away? Well, obviously, we're going to take away. We got to get rid of DJ LeMahieu. We got to find a way. Yeah, we're going to eat some of that pay. We're going to eat some of his salary, but that's okay. We got to get rid of him. We got to get rid of Marcus Stroman. I was thinking earlier, obviously, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they have a rocky relationship with Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery did not pitch good last year. But we know that that's not him, He started late because he ended up getting signed late. I think he's going to revert back to his mean, which is, a 3 ERA, somewhere around that. A good pitcher. I'd like to see Monty back. I was always a fan of Monty. If we could somehow trade Stroman and somebody else for Monty, maybe eat some of the payroll. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that'd be a good. I'd like to see Monty back. Why not? If Garrett Crochet, that's another option right there. But to get him, I have a feeling that you're gonna have to throw in Spencer Jones, of course, and you're gonna have to give him someone else other than Spencer Jones. I know a lot of people are not gonna like to hear this, but I'm thinking that I don't know if you could somehow get Nestor and Spencer Jones or not Nestor. Maybe, yeah, Nestor, Spencer Jones, or even Stroman. No matter what, when we trade Stroman, we're going to have to eat some of that money. He's pretty cheap, though, but we're going to have to eat some of that. And then you get Crochet, but I will only trade for Garrett Crochet if he's willing to extend his contract. That's the only way. There's a lot of pitchers out there this year. If the Yankees need a starting pitcher, there's no reason why they can't get one. You got Max Fried out there. There's so many pitchers out there this year. Corbin Burns. But I think the Yankees are not gonna spend that much money on pitching. If they get pitching, it's gonna be through trades. I would like to see Devin Williams as a Yankee. Devin Williams, is nasty. He got some of the nastiest stuff I've ever seen in my life. We could bring somebody like him over or make a trade with the Mariners. There's so many, like, I feel like this year, so many trades, this offseason, so many trades are going to happen more than any other year that we've seen recently. So I'm hoping that Cashman and the Yankees are involved with a lot of that. The problem is we barely have any prospects. We have good prospects, but we don't have any top ranking prospects like other teams. So even if I wanted to trade for a good first baseman like Nathaniel Lowe, you got teams like the Astros that need a first baseman too. They got way more capital, way more prospect capital and stuff to be able to make a move. So even if we could talk about all these trades and stuff, but best believe there's other teams that want these players too. And if we can't beat their offer, then it's no point. So we got to figure out what we're gonna do. We got to move on from a lot of these prospects too. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Boy Wonder says we need more gloves in the infield. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. We need a good first baseman. We need for once, can we have a solid infield where everybody's actually playing their position? Man, like the Yankees, man, we be trying to reinvent the wheel. Let's just get a real first baseman. At one point, look, we had a catcher playing first in Ben Rice. We had a catcher playing shortstop and center field in IKF. We're doing the most, man. Let's just get a real first baseman, a real third baseman, put Jazz at second, and figure out the outfield. Well, one that says get them likes up, support our boy. I appreciate it, man. It's all right. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it, man. It is what it is, man. I ain't gonna cry about it either. But everybody who's tuning in, I do appreciate it. I kind of put this together on the whim last minute. I just got off of work and I was like, man, I need to put something out. I've been wanting to talk about this stuff for days now. The Tropicana Field stuff has been interesting. I know it's not Yankees talk. It kind of is Yankees talk now because they're going to be using Steinbrenner Field. But we knew that was going to happen. They had to go to Steinbrenner Field. Where else were they going to play? And it's just the best option. It's the closest to their fan base. And it makes sense. I know what was tossed around in the beginning was maybe they could go play in Miami in the Marlins ballpark. But the schedule's already set. They can't change the schedule. And there was games that would have conflicted with each other. So they're not doing that. But they're going to, look, the Major League Baseball is going to have two teams playing in minor league ballparks. And I'll tell you what, if you had to choose, if Major League Baseball had to choose two teams to play in minor league ballparks, it'll probably be the A's and the Devil Rays and the Rays. Because they don't draw a large crowd anyway. So Steinbrenner Field holds what? 11,000 people. That's probably the average daily draw that the Rays get in Tropicana Field. So it's not much of a big deal. Yeah, they're getting 15 mil, but that 15 mil, you got to think, how much does it cost to maintain a field? Stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to know the specifics. Are they paying us 15 mil, but they have to also pay for their own upkeep of the field and maintain the park? We don't know that. Or are they paying us 15 mil and we got to do everything? Because if that's the case, then a lot of that money is going to go into maintaining the stadium. So it's interesting. And even like everybody's like, oh, that goes straight to Juan Soto, man. That's not even like I said earlier, it's not even a drop in the bucket for Juan Soto for what he's about to get. Man, that dude is about to get paid, man. 15 million is nothing compared to 650 or whatever it is that he's about to get. Take this thing off. Yeah. What else is out there? What other news? I mean, he's going to meet with the Mets today. Let's see what happens from there. I think I think the Mets ain't playing. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I feel like Cohen really wants him. And unlike the Red Sox went over there with a freaking montage video. The Cohen is going over there with a check. Best believe he's going over there with a check. He might not even fill it out. He might just tell him, look, whatever any other team is offering you, add 20 to that. He might. We'll see. I think my wife just pulled up. Let me see. Yep. The wifey's home. I started watching baseball a couple of months ago, so I don't got a lot to talk about, but I'm always here to learn a lot. I appreciate your channel a lot. I appreciate you, Emilio. Look, man, baseball's a sport that you always learning. You're always going to be learning. I'm still learning baseball. There's a lot of stuff, especially nowadays with all these different stats and stuff. I'm learning every day. I learn every day. Nando says Cohen showing up with a blank check and escorts. He said and escorts. He's going to show up with 3 strippers, right? Nah, man. I don't think he's married. Nah, he's not married. I don't know if he got a girl or nothing like that, but I'll tell you what, man. I'm sure they're going to show him a good time, man. He's going over there with Francisco Lindor. And then, but he's going to definitely, look, Cohen is he's a businessman. He's going over there and he means business. And he knows that the Mets fans, I watch a lot of these Mets podcasts and they want Soto bad, man. They want him just as bad as Yankees fans. And I think Cohen knows that. I think he's going to put his best foot forward. In the end, look, if we can match whatever Cohen is offering, in the end, it's up to Juan Soto. If he goes to the Mets, it's because he wanted to be a Met. If he stays with the Yankees, it's going to be because he wants to be a Yankee. That's what it's going to be about. I do think the Yankees will match whatever offer Steve Cohen puts out there. I think the Yankees will match in. At that point, it's on Soto. It's up to what? It's up to whatever he wants to do. Whatever's best for him. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate you joining me. I'm about to sign out. My wife just walked in. Go see what she wants to do. Go pick up the kids from school. I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. Hopefully tonight, if you don't mind joining the overnight show, it'll probably be me and Chris if he's not working. And the overnight show is more just us going off the script. And man, sometimes we talk about everything and anything. So join us for that. It'll be tonight, probably like around 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate you all. Have a blessed day.